Okay.
Put in an injunction to stop any type of adoptions or anything like that. December 16th, they held a quote trial day without you.
What?
God, dude. Without legal representation. So vacate the verdict. Did I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Vacate the verdict due to the fact that there was a day of trial and you were represented without,
Being present.
right.
So due
Because
process.
you dismissed your attorney prior to that date. Remember, there was a motion.
Yes.
That motion predates that. So on that day, she was not your attorney, and they went ahead with a trial day, okay, without representation, because you already had dismissed them, and they already had approved that motion to dismiss, right? That's the thing. We need to find out if they had approved that motion did they approve the motion to dismiss your counsel before December 16th? That's what we need to see. Because that we copy when they recognized that motion and entered it in. From that point, the court knows that you had no attorney. It's either that or when the clerk stamped it, which we already know that predates it. If it's the clerk stamping it, or if it's the court recognizing it and approving it. I think it might be the court approving it, so we're going to check both. We already know that it was in before the 16th. We need to see if the motion was granted before the 16th. If the motion was granted before the 16th or before the proceedings on December 16th, the rest of the trial should be, judgment should be vacated because of your constitutional right to be present or have representation was violated. That's just one. The next one is the judge, said that the burden of proof was here when it was here, That's judicial misconduct. Number 2, ineffective assistance of counsel. All those attorneys in there know the real level of burden of proof. So every one of those attorneys, they take an oath, They're all they all violated that oath. If they're sitting there in that courtroom and knowing that ain't the case, and they don't object or anything like that, any side that they're on, they're going against that oath, That's ineffective assistance of counsel and so forth. The one case, your attorney, Peter, there's some case that he was involved in 2012, 13 or something like that. Can't find any. Just what exactly it was. He knows where the bar of proof is in these cases because that appeal and stuff is all dealing with that. So Peter Schmerl, when that judge said that and so forth, your attorney, just for one, and there's no way these other attorneys don't know about it, that gets you a new deal, That's ineffective assistance counsel, judicial misconduct, and ineffective assistance counsel on everybody, and so that brings me into the scope of things. That brings the kids into the scope of things, by the way. All the kids have a case, of ineffective assistance of counsel, and they can put in for a retrial and vacate the judgment because of that issue too. Next. What's next? Any more, April? If you can't think of anything, you can pause it. Hopefully you got that. Please tell me you did.
I just can't pause it.
Hopefully you can save it.
Yeah, just put stop.
Hey, you know, anybody, shit, we should go on Facebook Live and all these people out there, man. If anybody went to trial, right, and they were told that the burden of proof was over here when the burden of proof was higher, everybody that had gone through that in the United States, on both sides, kids and parents, can put in to have the judgment vacated, man. Anytime you sit there and you have a court proceeding and you have things going on, one of the things that the judge is supposed to do, okay, no matter where, is he's supposed to make sure both sides are playing fair, and he's also supposed to explain the rules of the game, a court, you know, court ball, tennis ball, okay? He's supposed to explain that, so that way everybody's playing fair and everybody's abiding by the rules, you know what I'm saying? So if the judge is sitting there, you know, saying and telling the wrong rules of the court, that vacates, makes null and void the entire proceeding. Because the parties were misinformed. That's judicial misconduct. Especially if you can show premeditation, man. If you can show premeditation, then you can show show criminal. I'll say that again, if you can show that this was done premeditatedly by the judge, okay, that's criminal. That is grounds for FBI Justice Department to issue arrest warrants and remove people from the benches and stuff. Okay?
And they have. Connecticut or something like that.
Okay. But you see why when you start going down the slope, things get very dicey. Okay? Because remember, these fucking judges and stuff, man, they got a lot of money and they're making a lot of money. So it ain't nothing to hire fucking some crackhead to fucking kill you, man. There he goes. I slide him over and he's like,
No.
And if that's criminal, right? And if the lawyers, listen, if that's criminal and the lawyers are making money as well, there's your conspiracy. Okay? That's how you're going to prove conspiracy. That's how you're going to prove this stuff. You know, one of the things out there is okay, this is going on, but you got to prove conspiracy, right? Well, how do you do that? That's how you do it. Everybody's looking at the lawyers and trying to come around at the judge, right? And that's, actually, if you think about it, the judge is the king, right? And then the lawyers and stuff are all like the pawns and the knights and the rooks, okay? So the king, the judge, is back here. He's safe. Because everybody's trying to go this way, that way to get at the king. Forget it. It ain't going to happen. But if you come around and try to go straight at the king and realize that's what you're doing, is going after the king, not simply going after pieces like checkers. That's not the point. The point is to go after the king, checkmate, and it all falls down. So, I think I might have solved the riddle. What do you think? I've been sitting here working on
There, I got it.
the riddle, man.
Okay.
The bigger thing here. So you see how the kids not only get returned to us, but everybody else, man. Does that make sense? Not just our kids. And I've been trying to figure out, okay, and on first glance, it always seems like go after the lawyers and go like this and this and this. That's what everybody thinks. And if you think about it, boom, the system's set up so that way the judge is safe, just like a king. Most judges were lawyers, man, and they went through it, and they became judges. That's the same shit that happens in military stuff. You don't just hire somebody outside. No, yeah, whoever your generals and commanders are, those are people that have been down in the fields, man, getting it. That's why they put them there, because they're good at being able to command and all this stuff. And that's what a judge is. A judge is a king, making sure that these policies, like a lord, like the English system. Ta-da. So, ta-da, we can have